Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, along two other Short Track guys. You know them well by now. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07, Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman, here locally at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, and Ted Baber Video Productions, also locally here in Pensacola, Florida. What's up, guys?
Good evening.
What's happening? Let's do it.
Yeah, well, we got a little bit information to catch up to. We got
just a little bit.
Yeah, we've got the sportsman recap. Jimmy qualifying last week. You got 29-point lead with 4 races to go, and getting ready to go back this Friday night. And how is everything in your stable setting up?
Good. I've had to work on the transmission some. I had a problem loading it on the trailer and had to pull the transmission and fix a side cover problem. Finally got that done today. Had a great race last Friday night that we raced. Qualified on the pole, fastest qualifier, and went up there and rolled the dice. And my crappy dice rolling ability sucks. I rolled a 5, so I had to start 5th, which was okay. Dropped the green, worked my way back up to 2nd. I felt good passing the 00. No offense, Brandon Fowler, but it sure was good to run you down and pass you. 2/10 faster than the leader, just couldn't catch him in time to win the race and finished 2nd again. I think that's our 5th second place finish this year, so we're doing good. We just got a little more work to do, and just going to try to change a few things because we have a tire shortage, as everybody knows, in short track racing right now, and we have no 790s for this next race. So us and the pure stocks are going to be on old tires. The track's going to do the best to provide some tires. We're going to run what we can find, and hopefully the car will handle good, and we'll get through another 25 laps.
Yeah, well, that puts it in the driver's hand. You got to have the experience of running on old tires.
Well, you got to save that right rear because that old abrasive service eats them up. So the best tires got to go on the right rear and drop the green, and let the Darrell Waltrip used to say, let the rough side drag.
That's right.
Yeah, there's like a nylon shortage. Is that why Hoosier's having problems making tires? Or
everybody has that problem right now, and it comes from China. See, that's my problem. We're in America. I'm gonna get on my soapbox for just a second. We need to start making nylon right here in the United States of America. I understand that rubber trees and all are in the South Florida, South America, or whatever, but as far as the nylon we're buying from China, how about let's stop buying from China and start making it here in America and make our own American tires? How about that?
Let's do that with a lot of things.
Yeah, amen to that. America first.
Well, let me ask you this: the American racer tires made in China too?
They get the same. They get their same stuff. They're having shortages too, up in the Midwest and other places. American racers are having to call off races also. The Cars Tour canceled one of their races the end of this month because they know they weren't going to have any tires. Right. So we're in the same boat.
So what have you got going on for this weekend? I mean, what's your strategy like with the tire situation?
Well, what we'll do is dig through what I have. I turned in 3 from the last race, so we'll have to go get those. I'm probably going to try to go get them tomorrow and bring them home and start looking at them. We're not going to do an impound for this race or the next one. And Tim said he had a stock of used tires that they've saved that we're more than welcome to get tires there for free. And we'll go from there. I mean, we just have to run the best tire on the right rear, good tire on the right front, the left sides. Well, we just let them eat.
Yeah.
That's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking because you have no kind of clue what kind of heat cycles those tires have been through, what kind of wear they've
That's true. But most of the tires that we have through our stables I know what they've been through.
Right.
My teammate's not racing this weekend, Brock Gentz. He's got football. I may try to borrow one of his tires because he didn't put a lot of heat in his left side. So we may work out something with them to use one of their tires for this next race. And they don't want to race on used tires. They've decided that it's not good for them. Plus, they got football the next 2 races. So I may borrow one of their tires for this next race and see what it does. But, I mean, it'll all work out. We'll do it one way or the other. Tim Bryant called and asked me if I wanted to race. And I said, heck yeah. So let's do it.
Well, realistically, you've got 4 races left, and you got a 29-point lead. So what is it going to take, and what is your thought process of going through these last 4 races, just wanting that purple jacket, getting the championship, and get that monkey off your back, and just be done with it?
Well, finishing the top 3, driving on the trailer every single week, and get a win, because I sure don't want to be track champion without winning at least one race.
Right.
and I believe we can do it. I know, like I said, the last 2 races I've been the fastest car. I got jumped on a restart. You're not supposed to pull out and pass till the start-finish line, and the kid who ended up winning these last 2 races, nothing against him. He pulled out and did it and got away with it, so they're going to let it stand, so that's fine. But we've just got to protect ourselves, make sure we don't crash, we don't blow up or tear up anything, just finish. That's the main thing, drive it on the trailer. And, if we have even a 20-point lead going into the last race, we should have enough of a cushion to take the green flag and call it a championship. So that's my goal. I want to be track champion.
Well, we've gone this far into it, and I kind of believe that that's what's going to happen.
Ooh, don't jinx me. Please don't jinx me.
No, I saw Martin a few days ago, and I told him, I said, all you got to really do is just mind your business and keep the fenders on it and load it up and go home, and you're going to walk away with it, because I don't think anybody can catch you now.
Well, it can happen. It's just we've got to be smart. And the thing is, see, had we not had that one bad race, right now we would have an insurmountable point lead. But stuff happens, and it's part of the game. So, I'm trying to concentrate, go race to race.
Right.
Work on the car, make sure it's ready, go to the race, go race, and make sure the car's good. And then we'll worry about the rest of it when the time comes.
Yeah. Well, that was that night. Not only the excitement that was on the track, because we had the Blizzard doubleheader that we were going to get to. For unforeseen circumstances happened. We had to delay a little bit, but we get to the Blizzard Series Universal Fabricators 100 on Friday night, and our hero ended up in victory lane in a starting position of 17 with a new Port City chassis and a super late model. And man, I'm telling you, he put on a show.
That was one of the best late model races I've seen in a long time. Chandler Smith, or excuse me, is it Chandler? It's Chandler.
Yeah,
Chandler Smith had the dominant car.
Right.
I mean, dude, he would smoke him on restarts and he was gone. Michael Atwell got him one time, but he went right back around him. Meanwhile, Casey Roderick and Bubba Pollard, deep in the field, just started following each other.
Right.
And as what you saw, Ted,
right,
when Bubba had that one restart on the outside and he lost like 5 spots.
Oh, that was scary.
Oh, it was heartbreaking. You were just like, oh, no. Then he got into the top 5. I'm like, okay, top 5, that'd be pretty damn cool starting 17th. And then he just kept going and going. And with 3 to go, he caught Chandler Smith. And, dude, I was up on my feet. I was in the grandstands that night, and I think the whole grandstands were shaking in turn one because everybody was cheering. Come on, Bubba. And he passed him and drove off into the sunset, dude. That was just, it does an old boy good to see your hero win a race.
Yeah, that's no doubt. And we've got some of the memorabilia here in the studio with the right front fender, and we appreciate it, Bubba Pollard. We are big, huge fans of yours. We appreciate you taking the time out to lend us that memorabilia so that we can put it in the studio with your signature on it. And he ended up winning the race on Friday with Chandler Smith second, Jake Garcia, Stephen Nassy, Kyle Plott. And I have to throw out some notables, too, with Matt Craig finishing ninth. John DeAngelis, all the way from Wisconsin, coming down, made a great effort, finishing 15th with Eric Jones, 17th Grant Enfinger, 18th Connor Okrezik, Ross Kansas, and Willie Allen. I mean, yeah, that's what a field.
Oh, right. Yeah. Enfinger got dumped. I think Garcia got him. Enfinger actually was running in the top 5 and doing a great job, and I think he just got wiggled and backwards in the wall he went, and it was a shame because he couldn't race Saturday night. So that was heartbreaking not to see him back. But, Casey Roderick Bubba was following him up through the field, and Casey had a flat right front, which is another casualty of the tire wars because some of these tires aren't getting cured enough. They're being in such a hurry to make them. And this one separated. That's what several drivers had. I think Eric Jones had the same thing Friday night.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think he had a separated tire, and they had to come in and change it. So, it's this tire thing is killing all of us.
Right.
Yeah, and we can roll over into Saturday night into even more of a tire situation with our hero, Bubba Pollard, trying to go. And I told you the episode before in 11 that I was picking him to win both nights, and probably could have happened and should have happened, but he had a tire go down in the right front, and that was Saturday night and ended his evening.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, I feel bad because when I was on the front straightaway, when I finished second, they stuck a microphone in my face, and when I was done with my interview talking about my sponsors like Ted and James at Can't Quit Fishing and everybody, I said, y'all ready to watch a heck of a late model race and watch Bubba Pollard win 2 in a row? And we're down in Tech, and all of a sudden the caution's out, it's red flagged, and I'm like, well, who is it? Pollard. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Bubba, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jinx you, brother.
Yeah. That was heartbreaking to look over there in that corner and see him up against the wall. And I think, oh, well, there goes that chance for a really nice payday.
Yeah, I mean, and like, thanks again for the fender, man. One of my crew went over and got it after the wreck, and he was gracious enough to sign it and give it to us. So
Yeah.
it's our first piece of studio art, and of course it had to be our heroes. I wish it was like pristine because he won the race and he just decided to hand out body parts, but you don't see that happening.
Nope.
But great job Friday night, Bubba, and we'll get with you soon. We want to see you win more, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a little concerned about the condition of the front end of that car when I saw that fender. It's like, well, he's got to be having some difficulties with aero push or something, but it didn't bother him.
No, he was so fast there at the end. I mean, he always works on the end of the race anyway. And everybody got one set of practice tires and one set to race on, so everybody was on the same thing. And, man, we were slow qualifying. We were fastest qualifier to 21.4, and that's slow for a sportsman. We're usually in the 20s, but the track was slow because there's so much rubber buildup. So it slows us down some.
Well, I'm still glad to see you.
Yeah, that was the Michaels and Booth 100 on Saturday night. That was the second night of the doubleheader with Chandler Smith taking the win, Casey Broderick, Jake Garcia, Michael Atwell, and Eric Jones ended up fifth in that night. So what a great weekend with a doubleheader at Five Flag Speedway with the Southern Super Series and the Blue Series doubleheader.
And the trucks and the Outlaws. And that's another thing that happened. Logan Boyette winning the truck race and coming back the next night and winning the Outlaw stock race.
Wow.
That was a great race. And I'm going to tell you, Bubba Pollard put the heat on him in that Outlaw stock race. That was impressive.
He put the squeeze on him hard.
But, I mean, he dominated the trucks. Nobody had nothing for him. But, man, that Outlaw stock race was a barn burner.
And Bubba could have very easily bumped him and gotten him out of the way and gone on and win it, but he didn't. He didn't want to race that way. And when Logan, in his interview, he even went back to Bubba and thanked him for racing him clean. I thought.
He could have. He dove in there one time. I thought, oh boy, here we go. He's going to wiggle him, but. Yeah, that's cool, man. That was a good race.
Well, that'll come back. You know, that kind of karma always comes back and helps you out the next time.
It does. So that's cool. It's good racing all around. I think all the races were really, really good. So, and who was it in the 8 car that won the pure stocks? Latham.
Yeah.
He did an awesome job in that 8 car. Back in the big car, he ain't in the metric car anymore. He's in that big tank that he's got, and he put the whoop on him.
Yep.
So, and his teammate finished third, so that was pretty good. And a shout out to Caleb Burkett for not being able to drive his own car. He drove that old silver car and got into the top 5, and I thought he had a shot at a podium there for a little bit, but he was driving the wheels off that car.
Well, he was getting after it.
Good show.
What car was he in?
He was in his dad's old sportsman car. They moved it back down.
Oh, okay.
Brandon McKendrick normally drives it, and Caleb jumped in that damn thing and, was driving the tires off of it. Good show.
Well, you guys going back again Friday night? Yep. Anything you guys have done with the car to...
Well, I wish we could say we had a fresh motor, but our compression's below the other guys. I'll just put it that way. It's tired, and the guy who put that motor together told me there's no way that we're running up front with it the way it is, but he said, you're a hell of a wheel, man. I told him thank you. But, yeah, we found a problem in the transmission and the side cover, and I took the transmission out and fixed that. So we got it rolling. I've just got to get it, I'm going to try to go out tomorrow night and probably run some practice just to make sure that everything's going to work. And we'll just see where we land is where we land.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see the pure stocks out on old tires too, because I don't know how much experience they have at doing that, but they'll learn tomorrow or Friday night.
Well, when you don't have none, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So Jim, when you get through this Friday night kind of racing kind of situation, does Ted offer some help with with the video so you can go back and kind of watch your laps and everything, kind of improving your lines?
He does, and he gives them to me, and we get a little one of those little stick things. We put it all on there, and some nights I got nothing to do. I plug it in, just sit and watch, and just try to figure things out myself, see if there's anywhere I can improve.
If I can get my recalcitrant GoPro to work.
Yeah, we've been having problems with the in-car, but it's just, it does help, and it's helped me in the past, and I appreciate everything Ted does for me because he helps me with tires every once in a while and fuel and things like that. He's a real good friend, and I appreciate it.
Right. Tires when we can get them.
Yeah, we can get tires.
Due to technical difficulties.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Neil. He came out with us last Friday night, friends of yours, Thomas, Mark McCharge, and Jackie. And they came down to watch the doubleheader race, and two friends of theirs from Louisiana. And Neil Shearer is his name, and his brother races ARCA sometimes. And he offered to help, and man, without his help, we wouldn't have got it done Friday night. It was really great to have him and Ben Cranford. He was there helping us, and he lost his uncle, and we put some stickers on the car for him, and we thank for his help. And Will, my buddy Will, was there, even though he's one-armed. He won't make it this Friday night because of his shoulder. Yeah. He had to have a bicep reattached. Yay him,
Youch.
So he's going to be out this race. So we're just going to get after it, man. We're just going to do what we got to do and try to hold on to this championship.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, I believe that. Just kind of put it on the trailer and go home and just stay clean and finish in the top 3 or 4. You don't really have to go out and win. I know you want to, and if you do win, then that's just an icing on the cake, and you're just going to put that purple jacket on here at the end of the year.
Yeah, and then get the motor freshened up for the Snowball Derby and go out there and win that. That's the goal. I would love to be a champion and a Snowball Derby winner. To kill 2 birds with 1 stone in 1 year. That'd be awesome.
Double dipper.
Yeah. And we got another fastest qualifier sticker this past Friday night, which was really cool. So, I mean, I've only done that twice since I've been racing, and it feels pretty good.
Well, let's move on to maybe the ARCA Midwest Tour here back a week and a half ago on a Saturday night with the Larry Deachin's 125 at State Park Speedway in Wausau, Wisconsin, which a lot of these guys in the late models that come down here running the Blizzard Series with a Southern Super Series, they're running 125 there. Ty Majeski, Gabe Summers, Paul Schaefer, which we're now officially calling Paulie. All Smiles Schaefer Jr., which we're going to get into just a second. Yesterday or last night's race at Wisconsin International Raceway. Rich Bickle, Luke Penhouse. We all talked about Luke Penhouse with the
SRX series.
Yeah, the SRX series, finishing second. Derek Slinger, Dalton Zier, Casey Johnson, Derek Kraus, Austin Nason, Mark Mackesy, which is a 3-time winner of the Larry Deachin's 125, and Justin Mondyke. So these guys, and we'll get into the Wisconsin race last night, which is a 250-lap race with John DeAngelis and all those guys up in Wisconsin. Right. The lineup last night was incredible. We'll get into that in just a second, but we're catching up with those guys. The fields that are with these super late models and all the local classes, even on dirt, it's like all-star weekend, and we've talked about July being like a highlight of all the races. But it seems like it just never ends.
No, it takes a while. It's and not only that, but like I said, the level of talent we have in super late model racing, and it's not guys that are going to make NASCAR. It's super late model racers. That's what these guys do.
Right.
They're not planning on going to NASCAR. They're planning on racing short track for the rest of their careers. And even with Paul Schaefer, he's kicking that butt. And Rich Bickle, who, by the way, had a bad crash at Wisconsin. Oh, man, he tore that car to pieces. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, he's okay. Climbed the wall, tore the whole right side off of it. Just glad he's okay. After winning a feature at Slinger the week before. So it's glad to see he's okay. He jumped back in, tough old guy, jumped back in another car and ran the whole 250 laps. He's
already won twice this year so far.
Yeah. Yep, the Joe Shear Classic, and then he won another feature. So, I mean, the dude's, he's pretty bad for a guy his age, man. I'd be glad. I would, like I said, I'd love nothing more than him to be the only 6-time winner of the Snowball Derby and do a mic drop after winning the race. That would be super cool.
A lot of people have more opportunities to win the race, but this was his last time, his swan song, so it'd be good to
That'd
see
be a
him
hell
right
of a
on top.
story.
Yep.
It would be a heck of a story, that's for sure. Yep.
Yeah, he continued, and how he got back to, going back to back. I guess a lot of those guys have backup cars, and they've got a schedule to keep up with. And, Wisconsin International Raceway last night with the Gandrud Auto Group 250.
Right.
With Paulie Schaefer. All smiles, Paulie Schaefer.
Mm-hmm.
And Sammy Smith finished second, Luke Fenhouse. A lot of these guys we've mentioned over and over again.
Yeah.
Austin Nason and Gabe Summers. John DeAngelis was there.
Sammy Smith,
Yep, Sammy Smith.
Carson Quapple.
Yeah, Ted, you've got a list of the names that were there.
This is just the people that we talk about a lot. I mean, we already talked about Dalton Zier, Ty Majeski, Rich Bickle, Dennis Prunty, Carson Quapple, Casey Roderick was there, and he's a regular down here. Sammy Smith, Derek Kraus, Austin Nason, John DeAngelis. I have William Byron on this list, but I'm not sure if he's ever been here or not, so I don't recall specifically if he has or not. Eric Almirola, I did not know that the dude was from Fort Walton Beach.
I didn't either. You know that?
Yeah.
I did not know that as well.
And
He was born in either Panama City or at the Navy Hospital here in Pensacola. But he was born in a Navy. He was a Navy brat, I believe.
That's just amazing how local that is.
Yeah, William Byron, we all know from the iRacing scene, didn't get started until he was like 14 or 15 years old. And then, he's driving the 24 car for Hendrick. He did finish 21st.
Well, you don't race late models regularly. It can affect you. I mean, Eric Jones did a great job the other night at Pensacola, but it's just, those cars are repetitive. You've got to drive them. That's why makes Bubba Pollard so good.
Right.
And that was a Tuesday night race.
Yeah.
That was a Tuesday night race at Wisconsin International Raceway. And you had that stellar of a field. And then I think they took the top 16 and they had the last chance race and they took the top 8. And then provisionals on top of that. And the last chance race was even better than the last chance race here at the Derby.
Yeah, it was a good show. It had a lot of big names in there.
Yes.
Why didn't these guys qualify better? They've raced there a bunch. It's like, but you never know. These cars it just takes one packer or one round or wrong sway bar selection or just an eighth of an inch tire stagger difference, and the car is terrible.
Yeah.
Air pressure get off.
And some of the guys down at 417, South Florida area, Michael Atwell and Jesse Dutilli, a lot of those guys that didn't show up. I was surprised that Chris Davidson didn't come over and run that doubleheader last Friday night with the Southern Super Series. It was, I don't know what they had going on, but a lot of these guys that we've mentioned throughout the episodes, it just keeps bigger and bigger and bigger. It's more exciting than ever, I think.
Well, Chris Davidson's last year's Alan Turner Pro Late Model champion.
He was.
And that's his first championship at Five Flags, and he got his first win last year in a Pro Late Model. He's another wheelman, and Connor O'Kresick is another guy that had bad luck Friday night and had to bring his Pro Late Model to run Saturday night and did pretty well with it. I mean, it's you can do both cars set up close, but with a horsepower difference, you've got to set it up different. So, if you know what you're doing, and of course now Kresick's got Mike Garvey with him, so.
He knows a thing or two about how to turn a wrench. So
Yeah, just a few, not a lot, but Mike's pretty, especially when it comes to Five Flag Speedway.
oh yeah,
He's kind of a hot shoe, I think.
Yeah, Mark Garvey's a hell of a winner, heck of a driver in his time too. He's supposed to race some this year, from what I've heard.
Really?
That's what I've heard. They're putting a car together for him to drive some. So
that'd be fun.
yeah, it would be great to see him back behind the wheel.
Okay, so you got Friday night coming up. Is it 25, 30 laps?
25.
25
I
laps?
personally think he ought to shorten it to 20 because of the tire situation. Run the pure stocks 15. Just save us a little bit. You know what I mean?
That was discussed.
Yeah, it needs to be, because I think, honestly, that would help us out. 5 laps is 5 laps. Well, the last race they ran us 30, didn't pay us anymore, and we were only on one tire. Why didn't they cut that race back to 25? You know what I mean? Yeah. And we haven't had our quote-unquote sportsman spectacular in,
You probably won't until you get tires.
Yeah, so it'll probably be the second to the last race of the season, and maybe the last race of the season will be. I just look forward to getting to that last race, taking that green flag, watching that checkered fall, getting that check and that jacket, and thank everybody and go on to be champion. It's important to me.
Yeah, they got the Demolition Derby too this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Friday night, the cars backing up into each other.
I've been in 2 of them, and I'm gonna tell you something. You're scared to death till you get that first hit in. Once the first couple out, you're like, oh hell no! Start tearing stuff up. It's a blast, man. Demolition derbies are fun. But I jammed a big toe and my thumb in one of them, and I decided that it's just not for me. Because after a couple of hits, you're pretty sore the next day.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't imagine I'd enjoy that either. I mean, it's one thing to get around and unintentionally get into somebody, Jim.
Yeah. But what do you mean unintentionally? What are you trying to say, man? What are you getting at? Just come out and say it.
I don't know. It just every time I turned around when I was on the track, it seems like there was a 7 car right in front of me.
No.
07. It's
No,
like, oh
no,
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 not Jim.
Nope.
Chapow.
Nope. Wasn't me.
But yeah, but to deliberately on the front straightaway try to just destroy somebody. I'm not into that.
Dude, I've done it twice. I did it once over in Mobile, and they do it in the infield where it's flat and you get a lot of speed. And you know, it's bad when you hear some bitches in the 4-barrel whoop, 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 coming at you like, oh, God. I had a Caprice, and when I was done, the radiator was wrapped around the motor. The core support was pushed all the way back against the engine. And I finished 3rd. They paid me for 4th. They said, oh, you finished 4th? I said, no, I didn't. I was the 3rd of the last car moving. They gave it to one of their guys, which I guess, at times or whatever, but it's fun. Demolition derbies are a blast, and come out and see it. It's a $5 admission to the grandstands this Friday night. Dude, there's no excuse for you not to bring the kids and watch some good pure stock sportsmen and outlaw stock racing. The outlaw stocks are running 50 laps. And then watch a demolition derby. Watch cars just destroy each other. Dude, some of the hits are incredible.
Now, I understand there is going to be a Pontiac Catalina in this.
Yeah, it's a big tank.
Yeah. Well worth the price of admission just for that alone.
Yeah, it's and he's I can't think of the kid's name, but his whole family, Dylan Merritt. Their whole family runs demolition derbies. They've done that ever since I can remember as a kid going out there. The Merritts versus the Nielsen's, Chris Nielsen and Frank Nielsen. That was a rivalry for years. And the only thing you don't do is hit somebody in the driver's door. I mean, I've had to swerve, and the ones too I've been in going right towards somebody and move forward and like, yikes. You don't want to hit them in the door. But other than that, it's going to be exciting.
Well, the admission being so cheap, and you're going to have a lot of action. Jim's going to go out there and maintain his lead with
gain on it. I'm going to gain on it.
Gain on it. Gain. Yep. At least don't go backwards.
No going backwards. It's all forward.
And you'll have we'll get back together next Wednesday night with 3 races to go, and even talk about things that happened this weekend. Your success, Ted.
It's going to be. I shoot that demolition derby from the flag stand. Generally, that is really exciting.
Yeah, you talk about the bird's eye view. You get up close and personal. Really,
get smacked by a tire coming off. If you're not careful, or even a belt can come flying off 1 minute. I have had the experience of a large chunk of rubber coming off a tire in turn 3, hitting me where I did not want to get hit.
Oh. In the old Canadians. Sadoot.
Your voice goes up about 4 octaves.
Yeah. That's like crashing and hitting that crotch strap. And sitting in the car and the safety guy walks up and you just kind of wave him, pointing down. He's like, gotcha, man. Give you a minute. Yeah. Give me just let me catch my breath here. This hurts.
Let me get them back where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. Was it what Austin Powers said? Dr. Evil, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're all there.
Oh, boys.
So we have gone off the rails here now. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that and cover what we can. Yeah. We're gonna get back together next Wednesday, and guys, it's always been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Give a shout out to your sponsors, and please look us up at on Facebook with Short Track Guys Podcast on Facebook. ShortTrackExclusives.com. We've got a cool logo with merchandise coming out. Give a look with that, and give us a shout out. Leave some reviews on all your major platforms where you get your podcasts. And you guys got some sponsors and everything you want to hit up before we take off?
Well, I've got to thank my buddy Ted here for helping me out when he does. Can'tQuitFishing.com. Check him out if you want to go to get on the fish. James Pfeiffer's the man. Emerald Coast Remodeling and Trim, Michael Davidson. He does high dollar stuff, does great work. Give him a holler. Techmaster of Fort Walton Beach. If you own a BMW and you live in the Fort Walton Beach area, or Mini Cooper, and you need some work done, give my buddy Rick a call, because without his help, I don't get to do it. The Gens Brothers Racing for letting me work out of their shop. Thank you very much for Phil and Kevin and all them. Just want to say thank you to all the fans. I get people all the time to tell me they're my fan, and that means a lot. It does an old boy good to hear people cheer for you.
Daryl Faust, who I have to give a shout out to, because not only does he shoot good video, he does really good electrical work too. I've had him pull a camera apart that got somehow.
Yeah, he needs to buy that Monte Carlo I've got.
Yeah. And he's also got a set of headsets that he's worked on. He's got them operating too. I got to find another project for him, keep him off the streets though. So.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, if you need anybody listening, you need some video production work, get it with Ted Baber, Ted_Baber at yahoo.com.
True that.
And then JPB.
No, BP.
BP.
Yes.
07 at
Hotmail.com.
hotmail.com. You get with Jim and ask him any kind of questions you got. And
any ideas, anything you want to talk about, you think we ought to bring a fan on, or, a driver. We're going to get some drivers on here too. I know we keep saying that, but it's coming.
Been a good one.
Yep.
Adios.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next weekend. Thanks for listening, and good night, everybody.